Okay, this is Anna Selheim, and this is my mother's story. Now? Yeah, go. So I guess it all started with your father in the 70s. We had just moved in together. Dad and I always used contraceptives. I had used an IUD that tore my body apart, and the pill was too much. So I used a diaphragm. And one morning I woke up and I just knew I was pregnant. For every pregnancy I've been aware, almost immediately, that I had a baby inside me. And I never thought about having children. Dad didn't want any. He had lost contact with his daughter from a previous marriage, and it had been very painful. It was a life, I could feel it. But I didn't think through the ramifications. Dad said, "You have to have an abortion. We haven't been together very long. We don't know where we're going, and we haven't settled down." So, with little thought, I had one, but it was emotionally devastating. We continued our relationship and committed to each other without even saying it. I got pregnant and had a miscarriage. You have to understand, no one talked to me about anything. I didn't even know what a miscarriage was. I had to look it up, and not on the internet. And I told Dad, if I get pregnant again, I'm having the baby. And he didn't say anything. Okay. I don't know what he thought. God knows I thought every time I looked at him I got pregnant, even when I used the diaphragm. So I got pregnant again. It was wonderful. It was everything I thought it would be. I loved it. So we had your brother, and Dad loved it. He was ecstatic. We were living in Maine, but Dad wanted to leave, so he moved to D.C. to start a company with a friend. I moved to New York and only saw him on weekends. Why did you move to New York City instead of D.C.? I got a job there. I wouldn't go anywhere without a job. I was an executive in New York. I got pregnant again. It didn't make sense to have the baby because I was essentially living as a single mother. My sister went with me to get the abortion, and it was emotionally very difficult because Dad wasn't there. Soon after, I moved to D.C. to be with Dad, and I told him, I'm having the next child. You know I'm going to get pregnant again. So I'll tell you right now, if you don't do something about it, I'm having another baby. And we did. Oh my God. Okay? And you were impossible. You were definitely it. But you were adorable and wonderful too. So Dad had a vasectomy. He didn't want 3 children. He originally didn't want any. And I've told you this story. Hey, Terry, how you doing? I'll tell you how I'm doing. I just got clipped. Yeah, I've told that story to many of my friends because it's hilarious. That was your father. So why are you pro-choice? I'm a feminist. I know, but I guess I'm just surprised by the language you're using. You're referring to all these pregnancies as children, even the terminated ones. Pro-choice people are careful to call them fetuses but I get to choose. I made my choices with and without my husband. It's my body. I get to do whatever I want with it. Lawmakers get the hell out of my life. And that's why I took you and your brother to pro-choice rallies, so I could show that you could have children and still be pro-choice. Women get to choose. It's nobody else's business.